So, it's been a week. Haven't been here. Sorry I missed it. But I got a joke for you guys.
You do. Lay it on us.
And it's United related.
Even better.
What do United fans and sperm have in common?
What?
Lay it on us.
1 in 3 million has a chance of becoming a human being. Welcome to the Snobby Boys!
You are now tuned into the Snobby Boy podcast.
One more time.
Damn it. Fucking did it again. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Snobby Boy podcast. I'm your host, Colby. That is Kyle. That is Joe. It has been it's been an interesting couple of weeks since I haven't been here. Missed the whole United thing, so that's why I had to do that joke, obviously. Aside from that, did you guys recap Young Boys? That's my fault. Whatever, doesn't matter. We're well past it. We're well past it. Doesn't even matter. We had a massive game over the weekend against an awful Bournemouth team. So we're going to touch on that, obviously. That's why we're here every week. Yeah, but before we do that, hit subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell for the notifications. Follow us on social media. You can get that right over there. So let's get right into the first half. There was a fire of bench subs for this match, aside from our starting 11. Tons of possession, I feel like. But let's start getting into the beginning of this match. First thing that I noticed off in the fucking first 10, 15 minutes, Kova did not look comfortable. What did you guys think?
I mean, he had some passes, like some little through balls and stuff where it looked like, he was starting to find, and then he would, I mean, I don't know. I think he's just one of those players that needs the repetition, needs the minutes consecutively to really like develop his play, and just jumping in, getting thrown in isn't ideal for him, which I mean, I guess it isn't for anybody, but still, right. I agree. It's just, I didn't feel like he played poorly. It just wasn't as good as we've seen him play.
Right. And that wasn't the direction I was really going with that. It was just he wasn't up to quite the level of everybody else around him. It was more so what I was saying. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. He did, like Kyle said, he didn't play poorly, but the thing that makes Man City when it comes to possession and keeping it is the accuracy of the passes. Putting the ball on the appropriate foot, putting it on the person's foot that you're passing it to, hitting their back foot so they can take a touch into space away from the defender, or one touch it off into the space or into the next person. And his just weren't quite in rhythm with everybody, which is kind of to be expected because he hasn't gotten a consistent run. And he's definitely somebody who plays better when he's had a run of games. When he's in and out of the lineup like he has been recently, it takes him a little while to get going. And I think we saw that in the game. Towards the end of the first half and into the second, I thought he raised his level and was better. But that first 30 minutes, to me, felt like they went by really fast. There wasn't a lot of excitement right off, for those 30 minutes, but I felt like the first 30 went by really quick and with a lot of possession for sure for us, which is to be expected considering how Bournemouth was playing.
Yeah. Park the bus tactics were heavy in this one. They came in with a 5-4-1 formation. So I mean, if that doesn't tell you walking in what's going to happen, I don't know what does. There are a lot of non-calls early on, guys, that I saw. What did you guys pick up on?
I wouldn't even say non-calls. I would say inconsistencies. We were seeing something. I don't know. It's just across the board, and I don't know how many times. Like, how many times do we have to fucking say something about it before, or like, as a whole, the world supporters group, to be like, hey, you guys need to just like make it all the same, and we're fine with that. We will totally follow along with whatever you say as long as you call it the same throughout the fucking match. I hate this fucking shit where it's like, oh, it's too soft right now for the first. Well, if it's too soft now, then it's too soft later. Period.
Right.
So like that shouldn't be a yellow card later. Whatever the hell. Like I'm yeah.
I'm all for the boys. I'm all for the boys playing, and the rest letting them play. But there's some calls that they're just not making it all that they should be in it. The boys are getting up off the ground and their arms are up like this. Mostly Phil. Like that's the one that I like. He gets knocked around the most, and we'll get later into that more in the second half where he had some more possession throughout the match. But he's the first one I think of. Like when he gets knocked down, he's not raising his arm for nothing. If he gets knocked over, he knows it's nothing. He usually gets the fuck back up and gets on with it. You know?
Like maybe take a breather, just like fuck, and then like right back too.
Exactly. Like, but if you're he's throwing his arms up because he's getting knocked around and it's not being called. Like, I gotta point that out. Holland had a header chance. It wasn't deflected by a fender. It was pretty sick the way it came down, the way it happened, in my opinion. Shame that it did go in because this would make it a 7-1 match for sure. After that, 2 quick goals came up from Doku and Bernardo. They were impressive goals. One thing I want to say is I had made this comment a few weeks back about how our players are not following up and picking up the trash. They have changed everything and did it this match. And those goals are a result of it. The Doku goal, not so much, but the Bernardo goal, yes. What do you guys think?
I mean, Doku was just putting on a fucking show. Like
clinic.
Like his ball control, his dribbling technique is. I mean, I am so excited to see this kid continue to go. It's so early in his career with us. Like, come on. Yeah. I mean, as far as any of those, so the trash deal, so I would say it's more of just. Well, no, I agree. It's them finding those slots and actually being in those spots, because it's not always about like, I'm going to crack the ball off the keeper and, then pick it up. It's also like Doku, like doing that little cut in and do it like, a little shake and bake, and then like just having a guy right there or having a couple options so he can actually like, fake the pass. Like make that opportunity, give him the bodies to make that chance happen. And yeah, like you're saying, we're finally fucking doing it again. And we're getting back to our game.
Back to it, yeah.
6-1. I mean, that says it all.
It certainly did. And this is one of those situations where the stats and the score did tell the story with how dominant we were. And I felt like the Bernie's goal, our second, was definitely coming. He had a couple of really great chances, I felt like, off of corners, and you could tell
it was coming
that it was coming for him. And with the corners pieces, they had the same pretty much set routine the entire game, and they obviously saw something in the build up to the match about how Bournemouth defends corners. They kept somebody on the corner of the 18 and somebody at the top of the 18, and they were looking for those two people consistently, and that's what got that goal for Bernardo. And the movement that Doku was putting on for everybody was just unreal. His feet are so fast and he's so quick with his change of direction that I can't think of a defender that's going to be able to stay in front of him when he's playing like that. I don't think there's anybody in the world that's going to be able to do anything with him, because he is so quick, so fast, and explosive. His second step, once he puts his foot in the ground and goes, he's by everybody, and there was nothing that they could do with him. Got a little that the first goal, he got a little I won't say lucky, but it was a goal that he created with his pace and his drive to get through that crowd of people and got past the keeper. So that was just and then the third that he created too, just magic. He was magical. Him and Bernardo, like you mentioned, were just on fire the entire game, and it was so much fun to watch them.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I read my notes wrong when I was explaining myself with the Doku and Bernardo goals. Doku, yeah, there was a good job cleaning up the box for it, and then with Bernardo's goal, it was great vision and movement and pass from Doku. Jules lost a tooth on that. Did anybody understand how that happened?
I missed that completely.
Like I saw it later on in the clips, and apparently I forget who it was. I think it was a Candy. It was like, "Yo, dude, you lost a tooth," and he like went like that.
I mean, it had to be like a crown or like an implant, right? So like
Maybe.
it happens, you know.
Kyle
People with dental issues, like
Kyle knows. No, it was wild though, because I mean, like, I didn't even see anything happen to him prior to that goal. So it was like, where did that come from?
How did that happen?
Yeah. Next goal that goes in was the Akanji goal. It was a shot from Doku, and it was off of him.
Yeah, he's just dancing with the ball.
He was, yeah, dude. It was like, and going back to Doku again, like his cut ability is bar none the best I've seen so far.
I mean, he gets like 3 yards of separation from like 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. And the fact that he can split the defenders, magic.
Yeah, and he's a fucking monster. He's a big fucking boy. Like I don't know. There's so much potential. So fucking exciting. Because again, like we're saying, like the ball control, the dribbling ability, like because like again, if he's able to cut that quick past you, all you're gonna do is foul him all day. So
yeah,
I hope he doesn't go that kind of Raheem Sterling route, and he does just try to muscle through more. I mean, given his stature, I think he would, but either way, he could start earning some fouls too.
I mean, sure, but as far as the comparison to Sterling, to me, Doku has way more physicality to him. Like,
yeah,
Sterling's, in my opinion, kind of a bitch in that department. I just never seen him. When he was playing with us, I just don't remember him attacking quite the way that Doku does. It's just different. It's just different.
Yeah, it's 185 or whatever. I don't know how big he is, but he looks like 185 pounds, you know?
Right. Dude, look, his motherfucking shoulders are massive for his little ass body. Like, ooh, right. Oh my God.
You're not knocking him off the ball. You're not knocking him off when even though he's shorter in stature, he is well put together.
Like Kuhn. Like
yeah,
Kuhn,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes. That's a great comparison size-wise because they're both shorter. But you couldn't knock Kuhn off the ball because of how strong he was in his lower body.
Couldn't imagine what his his quads actually look like.
They all look like one leg. That's what his leg looked like. He had no calf definition, no ankle. Like it was all just solid fucking oak.
Yeah.
You can't say enough good things about that kid after yesterday's performance, man. It was
seriously
absolutely unreal how well he played.
He's an absolutely special talent, and like we said, it's going to be awesome to see him progress in our system and where it will take us, and especially because Pep does not ever sit on one formation ever. Sometimes you see 2-3 formations within a game.
And a half
interchange, and even in a half. Yeah, I mean this game is a great tale of that. Yeah, it's going to be really awesome to see him develop. So that hits the halftime mark. It was that was a really special first half, and I'm really glad to see us back in this kind of form, and I hope that we can take this in when we come back home against Young Boys on Tuesday. And then going into the weekend. I really hope it is because the last match against them was not ideal. I
mean, fairly shit pitch, still 3-1. But okay, so before we get too far, and we can say this every match basically, but Rodri. I mean,
can we talk about Rodri?
Jesus, dude. Like one thing I just kept keying on was like, he's obviously floating in between midfield to the center, like all that, or to the back line. But then the passes he was making out of the back line or out of that deep midfield were just outstanding, and little like roller bullets that were going, 25 yards. I mean, we need to figure out a replacement because that kind of shit we got to save.
Right.
Put it in a bubble wrapper.
What do you think, Joe?
It's a wild that our holding midfielder and our keeper can both hit 30-yard passes and put them on a fucking dime for our wingers and our strikers and things. And that allows us to play so much more direct at times and to switch the field of play so well that you have to. It's such a weapon for somebody who's already as tactically amazing as Pep is to have those kind of players at his disposal. We can change the field in an instant with one ball from positions that aren't necessarily known for those kind of making those kind of passes. So they're both a weapon, and I love getting to watch them on such a regular basis.
Yeah. So speaking of our weapon, he was subbed off. Apparently it was an ankle twist, from what sources say. However, I think it's more precautionary in accordance to what Pep said. So in light of that, we pushed Jules up front, put Phil at center attacking mid. I love the fact that we can interchange all of that so quickly. And it's
worked
so flawlessly.
Yes.
Flawlessly. I'm so excited about Jules too. Just this season alone, I mean, I feel like he is the unsung hero of this season so far. He started every match. He literally does anything and everything he can in the front to make things happen. And I cannot give him enough props. Cannot give him enough props right now. So anyways.
It's like he's learning under Phil, or like he's like adopting so much of Phil's style, and by all means,
he is, and he's matching it with what he already has, and he's progressing on those things. Like looking back at some of the matches he had with River Plate, like I'm starting to see when he was at his top there with us now, and I'm glad that it's here now because it's going to help us. Especially in this weird stretch. After this, I think we're going into our third international break.
Yep. We have Chelsea this Sunday coming up. And then after that, it's a 2-week layoff again.
Are we at home for that?
No, we are
Stamford Bridge.
We're at Stamford Bridge.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
I see.
back at the international break again. So hard to get a flow and a rhythm going when you're constantly getting the season chopped up by 2-week breaks every month. There's been one every month so far.
It's ridiculous.
But I digress. It's helped Jules in the long run because in between these times he's playing well. So I mean, it's again enough of Jules. I'm gushing over him right now. More so for the fact that my kid now wears his number, and he had a fantastic tournament. And I'm just like, I don't know. The stars sometimes align in a weird way. If that makes sense.
It does.
Right. So after we subbed off Holland, all that good shit. Bournemouth came out and scored with a VAR call of offside. That was
why that VAR check took that long is
48 hours. Like,
it was a clear as fucking day offside. It took one look, and they're like, the fucking broadcast. They keep zooming in on the guy who's offside like 3 or 4 times. Like it really needs to be looked at because there's some kind of controversy. No, he was offside. Let's move the fuck on. Let's keep playing.
Right.
Like no need for that long of a check. Which contributed to the 7 minutes of added time at the end.
Which is something I was going to bring up. Like, why the fuck did we need 7 extra fucking minutes? But now I guess that kind of makes sense because that did take like literally 3.5, 4 minutes for them to figure that out. That was stupid.
Is nonsense.
Yeah. After that, lucky non-call in the box. Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I mean, he got caught out of position, and sometimes you just gotta cover your ass a little bit.
That's not the first time during the match that happened. It happened twice. We'll get to that in a second, though. On the mostly through the first part of the second half, we ruled possession. And right after we really started, ramping ourselves up. Doku to Foden for a goal. That was,
dude. Phil's 3 touches in the box, coming at full speed to have that kind of control, and then to snap the shot off that quickly with accuracy was fucking insane. When they slowed it down and you could see the replay afterwards, and I saw it in real time, I was like, that was fucking brilliant. And then you see it in slow motion, you're like, all of that was intentional too. You think maybe he just got lucky with a touch and it fell correctly. Nope, he was doing all those things on purpose. It's unreal. I love fucking Phil Foden. As much as you were gushing about Jules not too long ago, I will go to fucking bat for Phil at all times. I love watching him play. That's my boy. And
he's one of our own.
Exactly. And that goal was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I think he's also trying to shut some of the why can't I fucking think of his name now? God damn it. Bellingham.
The Jude Bellingham.
Yeah. Like that, because a lot of people are just like blowing him up and blah 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 blah. Yeah. And it's like, hey, remember England was not shit until Phil started playing well. Let's all backtrack a little bit. And
also, let's take into perspective that Jude is in a mostly second tier league.
Yeah, cakewalk league.
It's easy to look this good when you play against opponents who are not to the same level. He did himself a disservice by turning us down. He should have come here. It would be a lot different. Yeah. He would not be capping the way he is right now, but he would be in a lot tougher of a situation, and he
better
he would be shown he would exactly that, but he would be better shown to what his capabilities are being put up against the best in the world versus being put up against clubs that are nowhere near Barca and Real Madrid's caliber or payroll, for that matter.
Yeah, maybe a handful of clubs in that league can
maybe
give them a match.
Yeah,
kudos to Girona for as much as they've done so far, but they're not going to last where they are.
I mean, it's a long season, but
I doubt Bellingham's going to continue the scoring run that he's been on, considering he's not playing striker. He's still playing a center mid position, and they need him to score those goals because the players that they've been putting up top have not been producing, and he's really the only guy that's knocking in goals for that club right now. So which is great for him individually, but in the long run, that's not sustainable, I think, for Real Madrid. So
no,
right.
Good luck to you.
Right,
you can't bank on that play.
Yeah, and they do have a bit of depth at midfield. Granted, some of those subs are not really at prime age anymore, but still producers nonetheless when needed. I think it's kind of crazy. This is something that's been around in the rumor mill of us potentially looking at Toni Kroos over maybe the winter break or going into next season. I don't remember exactly what it said. Doesn't really matter. I don't think it should happen.
I agree with you. I don't think that it's a fit. I think that's just journos stirring up rumors.
Yeah. I mean, if we were going to do that, we shouldn't have done Kovacic. That's how I would bring him in that case. But we have this guy. Let him fucking. He's also a really good fucking player. So let him learn. Let him learn our system and develop in us. Right. Bad words to say. Let him develop.
So Pep subbed off Stones for Rico, Matias for Alvarez, and Rodri for Phillips at the 71st minute. We have been screaming all season for 70-minute substitutions.
Finally happened.
Obviously, it finally happened, but it took us being up 4-1 or excuse me,
Yeah.
was it 4-0 at this point?
Yep.
4-0 at this point. Yeah. It took I don't know. I great substitutions. I won't say that they weren't. And again, we're back on the getting in and out at a decent time, so other players have some time to work themselves in the system a little bit. But shortly right after that, Bournemouth scored. VR check, offside. Walker was the blame on that, though.
Yeah, I appreciated the amount of subs that he brought on, and I'm glad that he did it. My fear now is that because they scored so quickly after him making 3 changes at once, that we're not going to see that anytime soon.
No.
But I think it was because they had to reshuffle quite a bit, because Rico went to right back, Kyle tucked into a more actual center back role, not like an outside back. So he was playing more centrally, and within that 3 or 4 minute span, that's when we kind of lost control of possession at that point, because we had so many new bodies in there, and players changing positions who were already in rhythm that defined their rhythm at the new spot. So that I think that contributed to that quite a bit, and I feel like Pep might be like, that shit didn't work, I'm not doing that again, which I hope doesn't happen, because I do like when we get the subs in and everybody gets the subs get like 20-25 minutes of game time, because it actually gives them an opportunity to find some rhythm once they've gotten on the pitch, which would be great to see, because we're going to need those guys, especially in the next 2 months when the fixtures are going to be coming hot and heavy, and we're going to get some congestion happening soon. So we're going to need guys to come in. So I felt like all of the subs that came in after that goal found their feet, and we got things back on track. So
like you're saying, just as soon as they came out, and I don't think Pep is going to do that. I think we might see more like 2 subs instead of 3. But like as soon as it happened, you could see like the shape of the back line was, I mean, a blind kid drawing. Like, it was fucking awful. And like
that's the most accurate description ever.
Bravo, Kyle. Bravo. That was a good one.
Sometimes you get those gems, you know.
Moments of inspiration.
But and they capitalized, and they're not a complete shit squad. Like, every bookie in the fucking world yesterday was like, well, Noah's going to get that money line at least. It's not. It was more of like a spread question with that match. But realistically, it could have gone, if we had a shit day, it could have been a much different match. And I just felt like we even with that, even once it gelled back together, once they kind of figured out, okay, we fucked up, but this is where we fucked up, then it felt like it was all back to secure, and we started making those ball plays again and just moving the ball really well again. But it just needed a little more time.
So right in the middle of all
this was a good match to get that too.
Yeah.
They need it. We're up a lot and could afford a little bit of experimentation with that.
Yeah. A goal or two.
So right in the middle of all that, Akanji got a knock. Did anybody see like actually what happened? Because like all of a sudden we just have 10 men on.
When Eddie came out and got big and blocked the shot, Akanji was also coming in at the same time, and he was coming in to kind of clean the ball out. So when he came in, he swung in and his foot connected with the ball, and then it kind of just stood there because it hit Eddie's body, I think. So it kind of just jostled his lower extremities a little bit. But then Pep was getting pissed off because the referee wouldn't let him back on when he was ready to go. So it took a while for him to get back on the pitch.
Yeah, that was weird. I like I said, I didn't even see it, and I even went back and like tried to look, and I just didn't. I just figured he was like, "Yeah, I got knocked over. I'm good."
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like. But I mean, we all know those little things can be like, "Oh my god, what has happened to my knee?" or whatever. Like,
right.
I mean, Akanji.
So
28 now.
Yeah.
Get on that Tom Brady shit, buddy.
Something I want to point out is Rico. Rico defended really well early on in the second half. Oh, that was an excellent substitution for the time.
He's another one to call back from your point in the first half before we got going about Phil getting knocked down and targeted a lot. I feel like anytime Rico's on the pitch, he has a fucking giant red laser on him from the opposing players because every time he's on the ball, it feels like someone's trying to clip at him, knock him over, take a little last minute but a little late touch to let him know that they're there and hitting on him. So if he and Phil, I think, are the two that get it the worst. And then obviously Jack does quite a bit because he's Jack, and everybody wants a piece of him. It seems like, but Rico, I love watching him too, and it seems like he gets the brunt of people's cynical challenges a lot too.
I'm gonna have to take a quick pause. My kid has called me twice, and he had his final today, so we're gonna take this call right now.
Absolutely,
caller.
Right, our first one.
Hey man, what happened? Woo! Woo!
Let's fucking
look at that! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go!
Medals, baby.
Medals. What else? What else happened? I don't know if you guys just heard that. 5-0. Yep. League One, undefeated, and not a goal scored on.
Whoa!
Let's go! Heck yeah!
Wow!
That's what's up.
All right, buddy. All right. Well, hey, Uncle Kyle and Joe said, awesome. Congratulations. We're going to get back to the show here in a second. Just so you know, you're on the show right now. Yeah, buddy. I love you too.
Love you, Aiden.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
Get after it, young fella.
He didn't say he scored, so but that's all right.
Hey, he's part of the winning squad, bro.
Oh, I know he fought hard as shit. Like so they put him at center attacking mid, which I was ecstatic about, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They have a couple of kids on the team. This is basically an all-star team. They have a couple of kids that are a bit of ball hogs. Literally will take the ball from their own teammates, which I hope that will get assessed going forward. But yeah, the team that they put together for this all-star team literally was put together at the end of the season. They had never played together. They had 2 practices for a total of 2 hours prior to them playing this tournament against other clubs that have been playing together all season.
Damn.
That says something about the ability level.
Yeah.
That's tough to do.
Wild. It really is. Like, I just...
right? Proud dad right there.
Awesome. I'm such a proud dad right now.
I get it, man. I totally understand. So
getting back into it, after the Rico, like we were talking about Rico defending really well. Dokes volleys one into Silva on the right wing. Silva on the break, brings it in, tries to volley the shot in, defended. Matty has cleaned it up. Cleaned it. I said cleaned it.
He cleaned it.
He cleaned it up. He cleaned it up. However, VAR check says that goal was shot by Bernardo Silva.
That was so cheeky. Godly. It was beautiful. That little chip in his run to get by everybody. That's textbook Bernardo Silva right there. And kudos to Nunez for cleaning it up just in case it wasn't officially a goal to hit that volley that he hit too with technique and getting over the ball like he did. That was gorgeous itself. So it was like, hey, we had 2. I only counted as 1, but 2 fucking awesome goals from 2 different guys.
Right. Great hits. Great hits.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was I really thought that was Mateus's goal for this, and then they showed it because I mean, to be honest, the way that they had the cameras angled, let's all be real, you can't really see it the best. It could be better. I think Arsenal has done the best job of that this season, where they actually have a camera on a track that goes along the pitch, but it's still up high so you can see everything, Anyways, yeah, that was fucking brilliant. I got fucking all kinds of chopped up about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that, another substitution. Fucking great match. Substitution, Oscar Bob.
Clap off
for
Bernie. Clap off Bernie. Yeah.
Clap off
match,
Bernie. That
match.
was a brilliant show. Bob came right in and contributes. He crossed it in wide. Ake goes for the dive goal. That was so awesome. And it's just, here we are 7 minutes plus.
Fucking bullshit. Oh God.
It's been par for the course for this year, but Jesus Christ, like.
And then you get a Champions League, and it's like, here's 1.5 minutes, okay?
Right. It's so crazy. This is something we don't often do on the show. We don't often talk about other teams, but considering what has happened over the weekend, specifically with the Newcastle Arsenal match, I think Mikel kind of has it right. They need to do better, and they need to be more scrutinized for it. And they were like, where's the fines?
So I don't disagree with that, and I think Arteta is spot on. However, bringing it back to when Liverpool had their shitty call against them, this is what Mikel said. They are trying to make the best decisions. We need to understand that mistakes happen. Oh, really? Sing in a different tune when it's your team, buddy. So while I agree 100% that they need to do better, I would like him to have a little bit of consistency, because there are receipts out there, my friend, and that doesn't look real good for you, my man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I led you in properly with that, because this is where this is fucking going. This is where this is fucking going. The amount of hypocrisy some of these coaches come out with in statements, it's got to be the most comical part of this fucking sport. Like, I week in and week out will listen to different coaches pre and post match, whatever. This one just took the cake for the season. Like, how are you really going to sit there, call out the fucking refs? And like I said, I agree. And as Joe said, he's already made a statement once this season that is completely opposite to what he is going for in this. So what was the fucking point? Like, the goldfish brain maybe is really what's going on.
I mean, hopefully he just has, early onset dementia. But
maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. God, I hope he doesn't end up like Bruce Willis, man. He doesn't even fucking recognize Demi Moore anymore. Isn't that wild?
That's so sad.
It's so sad. I don't mean bring pop culture into the thing, but I actually just read about that today, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. Did you see the Sylvester Stallone documentary yet? Sorry, tangent, but the Netflix Sylvester Stallone. Oh man, it's fucking good. Like,
I'll give it a shot. Being an Italian American, I don't really like Sly. I think he is an awful fucking actor. Rocky's a great movie and a great story, but it could have been another Italian American that could have done it. And
I disagree entirely. I don't think anybody could have played that role like him. But we're on a whole fucking thing now.
Yeah, now we're going off.
I'm sorry. I did it. It's my fault.
Go on.
Oscar Bob.
Yes, Oscar Bob. He's another one. He's one of our own. He is going to be absolutely insane to watch develop. Look at what he's done so far. His small body of work, albeit a great.
I mean, he's been impactful. He's been impactful every time he's gone on the field, whether it's
every single time,
whether it's a 3-4 minute cameo at the end to wrap things up, or if he's getting an odd start here and there. He's been impactful and does not look out of place, much like Rico did not look out of place when he first was getting minutes to start the season last year. You can see why Pep kept him around the first team and pulled him up off the EDS squad and didn't want him to leave and kept him around, because he's got the soccer IQ, he's got the technical ability, and he can execute what Pep wants him to do while he's out there. So am excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. And he's got positional, flexibility, which Pep loves. So
yeah. And he just
And
has
he's really
that,
got a
again,
flair
that
of his
Phil
own.
Foden, like that tenacity, that fucking like Bernardo Silva, like, because you see some of those guys come on and it takes these other guys to really get him, pressing the way they are. But you see Alvarez come on, you see these guys come on and they are immediately like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna fucking press the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And like that's like, yeah, I wish we saw that from all of our players, but get a little lazy here and there.
I want to express also that for the entirety of the match, Ake had a fantastic one. He defended well. He was up. He was pressing. He was obviously making some contributions up front. He made with his goal. Again, another player that we can't speak enough good about. I mean, he's an unsung hero, one of the better defenders across the leagues in general, and he's a consistent machine. That's what I love about him.
he can play left back. He can play the left side of a back two when it's just two guys back there. He can play in a back three. He can do anything Pep wants from a defender, and his pace and attacking ability. Both him and Josko are way better going forward than I ever thought that they were going to be. And Ake especially has added that to his game, because when he first got here, he wasn't making runs forward as frequently as he is now. And now you can see he's comfortable in the system and what he's being asked to do. And he's just playing footy. And that's when you get the best out of your players, is when they're comfortable, they know what their role is, what they're supposed to do, and can just go out there and play.
Like where he was at Bournemouth before we got him. Like he was at peak fucking Ake. Obviously, that hangover period of when you first come to City. But I mean, yeah, we're starting to see him because he was one of their biggest goal producers at Bournemouth. Like, I mean, I love the dude. I love a left-footed kid anyway. But like, yeah, he's fucking brilliant. And he also had a quote where he was talking about how like Oscar Bob was really impressing him. So
yeah,
mind melt.
Mind melt. Total mind melt. Unpopular opinion.
Ooh.
Calvin Phillips
okay.
had a decent match. He actually looked comfortable for once. What do you guys think?
I don't know if I would say it's unpopular. I'd just say I don't know if I felt like there was enough of the match to really like give him those flowers. But like, I mean, I feel you. I feel it. Like, yes. He didn't look like he was fucking scared, which is positive.
Right. Right. Yeah.
To Colby's point, I think his body language was a lot better yesterday.
Yeah. Yes.
And he played a lot more comfortable and would look like he was more at ease on the pitch. He wasn't thinking as much. He was just reacting and playing instead of like, do I need to be here? Am I in the right spot? Where do I play the ball next? It was more relaxed Calvin Phillips out there, which I think is really good. And it was nice to see him get, should have been 20 minutes or so, but ended up being almost 30 because of the stoppage time, which if you didn't know already or hear from us, was an absurd amount. Just
Insane.
so we know.
We might say it again.
But yeah, I thought he looked comfortable out there, and it was interesting to see Calvin, Kovacic, and Mateus out there all at the same time, and see all of our new midfielders playing probably for the first time out there as the main three, and getting some time together, because I'm sure they obviously play together on the pitch in training, but seeing them out in a game with the three of them out there was like, wow, that's probably the first time we've seen those three and not had like a Rodri or a Stones or Kevin or Bernardo back there. Like those were the three guys that were running the midfield for us for 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes.
And not conceding.
So
and they looked. They didn't. It wasn't bad. They weren't getting. It was Bournemouth, obviously, but they weren't getting overrun. They didn't look outmatched or outclassed or anything like that. They came in and held down the fort.
So with the now potential of him leaving in January, what do you think this specific match will do for him in terms of where he stands within the club? Or let me rephrase this. What do you think is going to happen because of this performance if, in fact, he builds on this? Do you think the club will reevaluate and say we'll keep him, or do you think he's already gone in January?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think they've told him that, and that has come across, was you have the next month and a half, 2 months or so, whatever it ends up being, to prove yourself. And if you want to stay, this is your time to show us what you can do, and show us on the pitch, not just in the training ground or in the locker room, but show us on the field that you can be a Man City player and accept the role that you're going to be given, which is super sub, spell Rodri occasionally, and that's probably about it. So you have to get comfortable with that. If you're not and you don't perform well, we're probably going to look to move you. And he also, this is the first time I've seen or heard of any rumors from his side saying that he's thinking about moving on himself, because there's always before in the summertime, I want to stay, I want to fight for myself, for my place in the team. So this is the first time I've seen it from both sides, from the player and the club. And again, that could just be rumors and people talking out of their ass. We don't know, but
I'm gonna say this. Considering the source, it would be irregular to not hear Real Madrid's name in some sort of fucking post. And from the rumor mills, they have contacted Phillips' agent and spoken with him about potentially bringing him in January.
Which they can't do, right? That would be tampering, wouldn't it? They'd have to go through the club in order to reach out to his agent, I think.
Unless Man City has given his agent permission to
That's what
explore.
I mean.
Yeah.
They'd have to check with the club either way first.
So let's assume that they've already granted him access, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't see where Calvin Phillips would do any better going into Real Madrid, considering the midfield they have, which we spoke about earlier, and where he would even fit in. He would literally be doing exactly what he's doing right now, riding the pine pony.
Yeah, that is the most bullshit one I think I've seen. The one I think has the most traction is going to be him to Juventus. I could really see him fitting in over there, and apparently they're actively interested for January. But as far as like him theoretically evenly, I don't see it happening. If he goes, I see it next summer. I don't see us making any shifts like that unless we are going to make a move in and out kind of thing, which I also don't really see us doing. Pep just likes to work with what he has and see how he can do, unless obviously injuries, yada yada yada. Sure. I don't really think. I think that we're going to see him for the rest of the season, and I think we might see an uptick in him. Like you're saying, I do think we saw some positivity in the play. I just want to see 30, 40 minutes of that at least, so I can know that you can come in for a Rodri, or even start for Rodri and not be freaked out about you being on the pitch. But I like that. Yeah, I think he stays. That's my take.
I like that. I think he should stay. I think it would be a shot to his career if he was cast out of the side during winter break. I think it will definitely be a shiner on Pep's CV, because he is what basically Pep or was as a player, and the fact that he didn't develop him in the amount of time that he typically develops a player, I feel like would be a total blemish. That
I was going to make a Nolito comparison, but you're right. He plays the position. You'd think that Pep would be able to dig a little more out of him, but
exactly my point. Yeah, it would be a shame if it goes out like that, but I think I still hold, even from earlier on in the season when he was catching a bunch of flack about his play, he's still on our side. I think he needs to stay there for a bit. If he goes in the summer, like Kyle said, that's fine. But doing it mid-season, it just doesn't feel okay. It doesn't feel okay at any point in any circumstance, unless there is injury, as spoken. But yeah,
or unless like Declan Rice is on sale for $35 million.
That too.
Insane shit that's not going to
That
happen,
too.
basically.
Well, guys, we're getting close to the end of this. Is there anything else that you guys want to put up there?
Just to follow up with what I think Kyle and I touched on a little bit last week, is that coming out of that international break, we have some really big matches coming up to look forward to, and some big ones because we're playing guys and teams that are going to be around us in the standings. So very much looking forward to after the long 2 weeks of no city football, but excited about the matches that we have coming up when we get back in early December. So pumped, and I'm super excited to see you guys in a few short weeks.
Woo, woo.
Yes.
Very much excited about that.
If you guys don't already know, we will be at the Ugly Mug /Valor bar in Washington, D.C. for Thanksgiving weekend. If you'd like to come hang out with us, please show up.
Bright and early.
Have you and have a great time with you. Bright and early. It's going to be
7:30 a.m. kickoff, baby.
Yeah. Me and Kyle are going to be dropping an hour and a half for that. It's going to be. We need to plan that out, by the way. Also, just to let everybody know, official support clubs are now again taking membership dues. If you would like to be a member of your local support club, please get in contact with the director, the group through Facebook, however you want to do it. Pay your dues. You get some cool stuff. Definitely get some great benefits of being able to see some matches over at the Etihad, as well as Champions League matches, as well as away matches. So go do it if you haven't already. Until then, see you guys next week. Make sure that, again, you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, follow us on social medias, and don't forget to hit us in the comments. We love that shit. Till next time, deuces.